This is, have you ever had anybody say, what, did you push your wife to do porn? Like, have you guys gotten that vibe from anybody? Like, oh great, you know, he's got her doing porn. You know, I'm just curious. You've got negativity.
No, I mean, no, not really. I mean, the like we're real and on like. Here's the fact: the industry version of us is way homogenized compared to like the real version of us. So, we have our own energy that's way more combustible than just making an adult. And we shot so much a lot. I mean, I destroyed 3 Olympus-style Zoom shooting. We shot so much. Polaroid camera, cell phone cameras. It was like, I saw her under the light and we just shot all the time. We're sleeping, waking up, shooting. Shower, diamond hair, shooting. And that became like, that's beyond the processing of adult. I mean, there's only a couple of times in history that artists work with their wives as well as any director. I mean, directors work with their wives. I think Hitchcock had his wife, and big director.
Oh my God, are you guys...
Tim Burton worked with his wife.
The Steichen and, what's her name of the adult world? Edward Steichen and the flower painter lady.
Oh, you talking about George O'Keeffe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah, that's who you guys are, yeah.
Or Diego and Frida, or Tim Burton.
Did Diego, did he ever paint Frida? Except besides a mural, did he ever paint her like intimately? Like,
that I'm not sure of.
But definitely Steichen was shooting like nude George O'Keeffe's, like incredible George O'Keeffe portraits.
Well, yeah, April was shooting her. She's shooting other models now, and she's directing, and she's beyond just a model. She's a very smart woman and works on a number of projects, and she's embraced this kind of responsibility of having to talk about something that's very intense to talk about, which is women's bodies and sexuality. Not many people want to talk about that anywhere in the world. So we're trying to communicate a different avenue besides just like the superficiality of adult. It's like we're seen as an interracial couple, we're seen as artists, we're seen as these kind of things that are interesting. But we're just doing our own thing.
I take it for granted too, because I know when I get together with you guys, like, I'm going to talk about comic books and monsters with you, and like, it's like, why do we have to be pigeonholed? You know?
So I'm not going to let April skirt the question though.
What was the
question?
How bad was your childhood?
No, I don't want to know how bad your childhood is. I want to know what influenced you, what brought you to this point in your career.
I don't know.
Why are you doing this stuff?
I'm gonna have to go home and take a bath and think about that. But
we've got a bathtub here. We can. I don't take the bathtub here. We'll just move
Change the
show.
tape. We're moving the bathtub.
Move the show to the bathtub.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Actually,
That would be awesome. Can we
we'll have to
do
start
that?
interviewing people in the bath. I think yes.
We have extension
Beautiful
cords?
lighting.
Very nice.
Do we have extension
There's
cords?
also a hot tub.
There's a hot tub also. We can
Dude, we should start doing our show in the hot
Do
tub.
we have drinks?
Hey, we've got drinks. There's champagne.
Top shelf tequila.
We've got tequila. It's great.
A chat room. We'll be back in 15 minutes. Go get your lead.
It's a totally
Dim the
different show.
lights.
I think I'm kind of opposite. My parents are really strict. My mom gave me the reproductive talk.
How did that go? Because I know how mine went.
It was okay. Yeah.
Did you actually learn anything?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't so much. I'm always interested to know what other people's talks were.
Well, she kind of used the metaphor of like when you bake a cake, you have to put butter that prepares the pan. So I guess that's the lining that we, menstruate every month. But no, my parents were really strict up until I was 16 when they got divorced, and then they were totally not strict at all. So maybe that's where I don't know. When I was growing up, I was like, I don't know, I was like scared of my parents because they weren't abusive, but they were strict, and I didn't feel free to do much. Like even when I wanted to look at the teeny bop magazines, I felt like I was going to get in trouble for that. So, but eventually I did, you know, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. So that's my early. It was just very controlled. But not in a super bad, crazy way, but just very strict. I couldn't go out. Like, I was 16 and I had to be home by midnight, and
I had to be home at 10.
10?
I wasn't allowed out after school, you guys.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Be home by 10.
Unless it was a friend they knew and it was something special, where like somebody was driving, it was not, yeah.
I wasn't allowed to like go out on dates or that kind of stuff. I could stay out until 10, but it was because I was like at rehearsal, because I was in plays and stuff.
Or did you lie about that rehearsal? See?
Yeah, see, I couldn't even lie.
Rehearsal ran late.
I
That's
didn't. I
why
thought
I'm
they
home
could see
at
if I'm lying.
midnight.
Me
There's
too.
no way.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not lying.
no way
I'm
I'll
just
get
gonna
caught.
stay home and watch TV.
No, I
Twin Peaks.
decided I would attempt to perfect lying, but I'm really
That's it. That's the actress in you.
yeah, that's it. I would perfect that. So
So
then,
sure that-
so as you got older, then you know you said when you were 16, your parents divorced, and so then those rules kind of lapsed. So
There were no rules. It was very crazy. But
was that scary? Was that difficult, or was that fun, or?
I guess it was all of those mixed. I'm appreciative that I was brought up so strictly, because then when I was able to do crazy stuff, I chose to do like crazy stuff in maybe
But not-
less crazy way.
Right.
Moderation.
Moderation. And it was very strange to have parents who were like very controlling, and then they're off doing their
Right.
own thing and their own drama, which affected my sister a lot worse because she was 12. So she
It's
just
very
did her
difficult.
own thing
Yeah.
at 12. So, yeah, maybe that's...
Yeah. So what, as you started getting into, now, did you start doing any adult work before you met Carlos, or was that
No.
after you met?
After we met, I started modeling for him,
Mhm.
and then first it was like bikinis, and then
Mhm.
it was like nude, and then, okay, now show this, and,
Mhm.
you know,
Gradually.
gradually.
Yeah.
So everything was very gradual.
What made you want to do the modeling to begin with?
I feel like I'm an exhibitionist. I like being in front of the camera. I like posing. I like getting hair and makeup. I like the moment
You
when
love having somebody put makeup on you. I know.
it's so relaxing. It's like fall asleep.
A total girl moment. I just love that.
But you know, when the lights are set up and you're in your outfit and hair and makeup, and it's just like a break from real life, and you can just be there and become me, become whatever the artist wants me to be. Like, I feel like I'm a piece of fruit, a bowl with fruit, you know, and that's a real fun escape for me. So that's why I like it, and liked modeling. And then for sex scenes, you know, you have sex, it's fun.
Not a bad part.
No.
And now, Carlos was saying, you know, now you're also on the other side of things, where you're doing some of the producing and you're doing some of the other work on projects. And what is that like for you?
It's really fun for me. I'm taking pictures of some of my friends, and that's really fun because I've been in front of the camera, so I feel like it gives me a certain advantage, even in the way I direct them, and I just love composing a picture. So it's fun. And then I get home, I show Carlos like, oh, what do you think? What grade do I get? It's always an A+.
So, I would
She brings the
have to
apples
imagine he
to
probably grades you pretty well.
She's very modest. She's an extraordinary photographer, and the biggest misconception about being a husband and wife team is that we work our asses off. There's no dull moment. There's no advantage. It's like you have two alpha omegas trying to be their best and working very hard. There's no, if she took a picture and it sucked, I would tell her, because she's going to want to show it to somebody, and it was like, wow, that picture sucked. You know, so, but I can honestly say that she's been working on her series for a long time, and her friends include a lot of interesting women, and it's just amazing. I'm excited to see her photography and her composition. She just blows my mind. Her Billy tell a story. I mean, anybody can pick up a camera. I've had a DP that couldn't shoot a still, and I paid him.
That's scary. Isn't it? Yeah.
No, I mean he can run a video camera, but he
Right.
can compose a
Right.
still camera.
Yeah.
If I give my camera to her now, she can shoot anyway. She's my backup shooter. She's always been there. Dangerous Curves, our movie she produced and makeup. We did makeup in the middle of the fucking woods. We hiked 2 hours and a half in no cow in 40-degree weather, and she had a threesome on a fucking rock.
Nice. Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
April really did it. It was her idea. We go to San Francisco. It's like, so we did the whole Dangerous Curves, our movie. We shot an entire adult movie outside. It was a nightmare. Who would do that? But it was awesome. It turned out great.
But
And April
I understand.
April produced
Totally
it
understand.
and wrote it. So she's
No, I think
her
that's
photography is really good, and it's she's been working on her documentary for some time now.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about that.
I'm working on my documentary. It's called The Women I Know. And the goal for that is to give me and my peers our own voice on explaining or just discussing why we do what we do. It's not because we're victims or we're any of the other stuff that
Can't think of anything better to do.
I read about. You know, we're not.
You need
we're
the
not.
money.
Yeah, we're not being exploited. You know, like you said earlier, if we're choosing to do this, that's what we're doing. So it's to give us a voice on why we're doing this. And I've talked to, I think I have 10 interviews.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's just very intimidating for me because it feels like huge.
It is huge.
Yeah, so I'm scared, you
You can
know.
do it.
Yeah, I've been working on it for a year, so maybe I should speed it up. But yeah, it's exciting for me.
Good. No, I think that's fantastic.
It's so needed.
It is,
You know,
absolutely.
That's something that you hope ends up in a college class one day for, teaching people about porn.
I hope so, and the reason why I'm really intimidated is because I'm really protective and passionate about the statement that I want to make, and I just feel like I have to do everything perfectly because I feel like it is needed and it's important. And if I'm giving my peers, my friends, a voice, I want it to be the best that it can.
Right. You want to make sure it's authentic and you're really...
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's good.
No, I understand. I understand totally. Well, hopefully, when you finish that up, you can let us know about it.
Yeah, I'll come
Plug
back
it
and say,
come back.
"Oh, it's done, it's
Even,
all done."
That's
even rough
fantastic.
edits, If you're showing rough edits to friends, if you're interested.
You need a
Oh,
rough,
okay,
a
yeah.
rough.
Yeah.
I'd love
It
to
looks
see.
great, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Thank you, guys.
No, absolutely.
Are you able to talk about some of the women that are in this?
Yeah. Let's see. Ashley Blue. Jiz Lee's in it. Sid Blokovich was my first interview. Kelly Shabari. Ellison Lee, who runs Good For Her, and she does the Feminist Porn Awards. So she added a lot of really great outside perspective, like not from the performer, but someone that's very involved in, porn and porn that's good for her. And what else? Me eventually, Kelly, I said. Oh, Dylan Ryan. And maybe a few more. Oh, Lux from fleshbot.com. I think that's it. Maybe I want to get a few more.
But it's a very,
great.
one of the great things and exciting things about working with April is that the questions are is the same list of questions to each performer, and it's very thoughtful and how it's presented.
It's like questions that I want to know. I'm not saying what's your favorite position, because that's a cool question, but that's not my point of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm wanting to give us a voice. So
I think that's fantastic. That's wonderful.
thank you.
I want to see that. That'll be great.
We so need this. Like, right now in the political climate, how nasty it is with Republicans in each state doing what they can, and that's so, all the way over here, and they're all the way over here. People need to know we all exist. Women that are we like sex, we like porn, it's okay.
Yeah.
Back off, leave us the fuck alone, and
Totally.
let us do our thing. There's enough of us, they just don't know it.
Right. So that's what I'm doing.
I think that's fantastic.
You got
That's
it.
wonderful.
You're gonna do good.
I think that's really going to be a wonderful thing. And I think it's great that you're doing that as a documentary because it allows for being viewed in a lot of different venues and from a lot of different perspectives.
Right. And I thought about, should I show, people working or scenes, but I think no, that'll limit who could see it. So it's...
Yeah, because this would be you can use this not only in a film class, but you can use it in a women's studies class or a gender studies class or...
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
That's the stuff we get off on. Yeah. We're always,
Wow.
I don't know about get off, I'm sorry. I don't mean to speak for you, but we interviewed the man who, was it both of Patty and Richard?
Robert Dunlap, yeah.
Remember Xavier Hollander, the happy hooker?
There was a documentary.
From the 70s.
Yes.
We interviewed them, and now that is playing on Documentary Channel on cable. So,
yeah, and they did this whole big thing up in Toronto and everything.
And I don't know if there's any scenes in that. The movie Beyond Deep Throat by the Fenton, what's their names? The guys who do like RuPaul's Drag Race, and you might want to talk to them if you're, once you get it in the can and you're looking for how to get it out there, World of Wonder.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because they did the Deep Throat documentary, and I think there's scenes in that one too.
Yep. But you can contact me later, and I can give you contact information for Robert Dunlap, who did his Xavier Hollander
Thank you.
Happy Hooker documentary.
Thank you.
Because they're both wonderful people, absolutely wonderful people, and yeah, we've had them on before, and he's just a sweetheart. He's an absolute sweetheart. And she teaches, she teaches human sexuality classes, and this would be just such a wonderful thing to use as a teaching aid.
Thank you. Something else I want to kind of highlight on that movie and why I don't want to show sex scenes is because we all enjoy sex, but that's not, I think people think that porn performers are just sex all the time, all day, whatever. But it's not, like we like cooking and painting and doing our own photography and other stuff. So I want to show that we're well-rounded people. We're whole people, and we are intelligent. So that's my goal.
No, I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. And I'm hoping, because someday I still have the hopes of putting together like a sex worker panel for some of the stuff that we do for the center. Because even when we do like the SM panels, it's so funny. We'll always get asked, well, do you do anything else? Like, no, I just do SM 24/7 all the time. I don't have a job. I don't have a kid. I don't have to clean the house. I don't have a cat. It's like, no, we actually go grocery shopping and we go to the movies and you do things. And I think the same perception comes out of, oh, you're a pornographer or you're a porn girl or you're a porn model, and suddenly that's all you do.
That's all we do.
That's all you do.
We enjoy it.
You're right, but
there's nothing wrong with
to
that.
enjoy your job.
Yeah.
But it's your job, and you do other things. You have other things in your life. So yeah, I think that's wonderful. I think that's a fantastic project to be doing.
Thank you.
That's great. I wish I was doing that project. I want to do that project.
How are we doing on